Baltimore and Dennis Colossus and I have we talk once or twice a week, and he's out doing his thing at Coons Ford Security Boulevard, and of course hosting radio from 3 to 5 here every Thursday. And I've been in and out because I've been bouncing around and had some off the field responsibilities. But Dennis, we all sort of gather for fake football, and look, the parking lot's a little tepid, the stands are a lot tepid, the game's a little tepid. But I don't know. It does beat the Tigers being in town on a Wednesday night for a real baseball game in some sort of perverse way, right?
Absolutely. Football is football.
Well, it's fake football. But I would say this. There is more going on here. First off, the Redskins are showing up, so that that angers up my blood. That gets me boiling to begin with, and the headdresses and the song and all the pig noses and all the crap that goes along with it. That being said, Ryan Mallett throwing the football around, there's a lot of pressure on him for a preseason game in some perverse way. Obviously, the offensive line, everyone's looking for a job. In the running game, everyone's looking for a job. And everyone's and that's just the starters, right? I mean, literally, there's going to be a lot of hunger in the game, and I'm not even going hyperbole and because I know it's going to suck, but for these guys, we're going to see. It's not going to look like the fourth preseason game of crap. It's going to look like, hey, I'm trying to make a name for myself, Tim Williams, amongst others, right?
Well, absolutely. Not only just Tim Williams. I mean, Tim Williams is a lock to make the roster as a relatively high draft pick, a guy who was mocked in the first round before all the off-field red flags surfaced about him. But to me, the intriguing part of it, Nestor, is just the bottom 10 or 12 players that are trying to make this roster, your Tim Whites who are trying to impress the coaching staff. I think that's those battles that I, as a football purist and a fan, love to see. So everybody else is checking out and looking at different things. I'm actually locked into the game and watching these battles for the last few pressures roster spots that actually make a big difference in how your team performs. They have to make correct decisions. I'm talking about the coaching staff, because as players will go down in the season, that next man up philosophy has to be solid. They have to make the right decisions in terms of who they pick and who they let go.
Well, the first next man up is Mallett, right? And he really can only be as good as the running. I mean, it's no different than Flacco. If they can run the ball, Ryan Mallett's going to look okay on Thursday night. If all they're doing is, and maybe if they can protect him, he might be able to throw the ball around a little bit, but he has been inaccurate. He's been inconsistent. All of the reasons that makes him a backup quarterback, right? It's the same reason a fifth starter is a fifth starter, kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I don't take too much stock in bad practice, though, because the Ravens have a very talented defensive unit. It takes me back to 2000 when Trent Dilfer kept throwing picks in practice where, Coach Billick told Dwayne Starks and Chris McAllister, hey, stop picking them off. But that was one of the best top three defenses of all time. The defense has such an advantage in practice. They know the plays and know the plays the offense is trying to run, so it's easier for these guys to jump routes, which is why I think Ryan Mallett has a better chance of acquitting himself against a team that hasn't seen them play, day after day in practice, doesn't know the routes, can't jump them early, etc.
Dennis Colossus joining us here. He, of course, will be here getting you ready for the game on Thursday afternoon. And as I said, fake football. And here come the real Redskins playing fake football. Does it anger up your blood? I mean, look, you're my age. You have admitted to me that when your family sort of came over from Greece, football became something you were enamored by, and the Colts were one of your loves as a child, as, my father taking me out there, the whole deal. The Redskin thing, I don't have it in the same way that I had it with the Colts, but I don't like the Redskins. I mean, if they could go 0-16 and all of those nasty things Bob Trumpy said, right, about, cold hot dogs and empty fields, and they got a jerk for an owner, they're patently dislikable, they haven't won in a long time. They've had this storied history. They have a stadium nobody wants to go to, not even to see Springsteen or U2, as I found out. And then they got rammed down our throats in our childhood, and we got our own team, and their owner tried to famously, that's not a myth, that's a fact. The fact is the Redskins tried to make sure the Ravens never existed, literally.
Exactly right.
And and here they come in preseason football. I don't know that 20 years into it that I want to burn Redskins hats, but when I see a Redskins fan at a Caps game, I feel a little sorry for him and laugh at him a little bit. But I would prefer that, like, much like Tom Clancy, I would have rather had my child sold to the Gypsies than be a Redskins fan. I would never be a Redskins fan.
Absolutely. I think people that know their history in Baltimore could never, ever root for the Redskins or even like the Redskins, Nestor. My top 5 dislike teams that I have gross dislike for, you know who number 1 is. That's for me, it's the Indianapolis club. Hate them with a passion for their ownership and for taking the Colts and ripping our hearts out back in '83. Number 2 on that list are the Redskins, and for those reasons, Paul Tagliabue and Jack Kent Cooke kept football out of Baltimore for 13 years. That's something you can't forgive. That's something that I can't forget. Number 3 are the Broncos. Do you know why I dislike the Broncos?
Well, John Elway.
Right.
It's
right, that's exactly right. Again, that's his history. How about the Buccaneers, number 4? Why do I hate the Buccaneers?
Because of the Glazer family.
You're all over it. And what about the Cardinals? Can't forget them either.
Well, Mr. Bidwell, bring us your team.
Exactly. So there's certain teams that are really.
No, I'm not mad at them because that's like being mad at an ex-girlfriend that led me to my wife. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. No. See, the Colts thing where it wasn't good and they cheated and they were bad and I'm good with the Ravens, and I'm honestly really good with Steve Bisciotti, and I'm honestly really okay that they didn't sign Colin Kaepernick because they were in this mating period last week with him, and I did not like the girlfriend tweeting out the slave. If I owned the team, I'd say, dude, I'm glad I didn't employ you.
Right.
I'm really glad I didn't employ you.
Let me ask you this, Nestor, because to me, that tweet she sent out, to me, that was a nail in the coffin for any team, any ownership group considering him in the future. I think it's done based on what she put out there on social media. And it's still there. She took down the comments, but the pictures
I
are still
wouldn't
there.
go for that. And if you want to direct that at Ray Lewis, take that up with Ray Lewis,
Correct.
who last week said and did some things that, quite frankly, and I know we're going to get on a bus 51 weeks from now and go out there, but, having Ray Lewis tell someone to sit down and shut up about what they feel and what they believe, that guy steps so far outside the bounds of the dancing and the individual and the I'm going to be in the middle and look at me. Well, it's unbelievable.
What has never been about Ray Lewis? It's always been about Ray Lewis. It's never been about anything else but Ray Lewis.
Wow. Ray,
even
Ray, I want to come out and fly a purple flag for you in Canton next year. You're the one that needs to sit down and be quiet about telling other people to be quiet. We're the United States of America here, bro. Come on.
Oh, he also railed against Ray Rice when Ray Rice had this incident. You talk about a guy. Well, we can get again big disappointment.
I don't want to sit here and badmouth Ray Lewis, but if he's going to go out on Instagram and tell another American human being that feels that they have a want and they need to speak out about something that is very real in their mind and in the minds of lots of other people, I have a real problem with stick to sports and shut up. And in the modern, I can't do it, Dennis. I can't. It's not what I'm about. It's not why people that are listening have heard of me. Was not, well, I'm going to speak out about the thing you want me to speak out of and then shut up on the thing that you want me to shut up on. I can't fathom that Ray Lewis thought that he thought that through.
Well, he never thinks things through, but the primary thing for him is to be relevant, to stay in the news, to keep his name out there. His name should never even been attached to this situation. He's a former Raven, but then again, for the Ravens to come out and say they've polled fans and current players, what do you don't go polling people. When you want to make a move as a business owner, Nestor, you make the move. You don't need to poll entire fan base or employees. You make a move as an owner. I don't know why they attracted this attention to themselves. I still haven't figured it out because John Harbaugh was the one. Nobody asked him about Kaepernick. He's the one that brought the name up. So I don't know why they chose John to put out that trial balloon. And maybe that's what it was. Maybe Steve and Ozzie said, look, put it out there and see what the reaction is.
Well, look, they got real problems, and we're going to address those beginning against the Redskins. They have real questions. probably amongst themselves as to how this is going to go in Cincinnati 4 weeks from now and how this is going to go after that. So, we'll sit, we'll watch. I'm fine with no Kaepernick. I'm good on all. We're going to go with what we got, and what we got's Mallett right now, and hopefully, and as we've talked to many people about, I mean, I've had Baldinger, Billick, all these people on this week. We're all in agreement. If Joe Flacco's not right, they're not going to have much of a season unless Ryan Mallett is some latter-day Kurt Warner we don't know about, right?
Well, I think if they can't run the ball, we're not going to have much of a season. Back in 2000, the quarterback position was much in question with Tony Banks and then Trent Dilfer. But that team had a great offensive line, of Howard Black an offensive line, and they could run the ball with Jamal Lewis. This team, if they can't run the ball, I don't care who the quarterback is back there. You can dust off John Elway for all I care. They're going to still finish 8-8. They've got to be able to run the ball. That'll make Joe Flacco or Ryan Mallett go. Because they have enough of a defense, they have enough of special teams, certainly a kicking game to keep the games close, much like the 2000 team. But that 2000 team could chew up clock, gain 150 yards rushing a game or so.
The same thing when we had Jamal Lewis and Ed Reed had to pick a ball off, had to return a punt, had to pitch a ball or be pitched to. The defense had to score 10 points a game for the Ravens to win. And if that's where you're going to go, it's hard to get the 9 wins that way. It really is.
Well, and today's NFL, it is with all the passing rules, and I would agree with you. But to me, everything will click off that running game. Looks like the players like Greg Roman, he's got to run the daylight scheme, and they're all jacked up and juiced up. So hopefully, but they've got to get that offensive line. Austin Howard, the new signee from a former Raider, still not seeing the football field, Nestor. So
Alex Lewis has also struggled.
He's
they lost Siragusa. I mean, this is not.
No, Jermaine Luminor, the 5th-round draft pick. I mean, he's practicing with the first team. He's also Coons for the Baltimore customer. There's plug and the F-150. Very nice guy.
Give 2 plugs on that.
There you go. Yeah. But very nice guy. But here's a 5th-round draft pick who right now is running with the first team.
He is Dennis Kolatzis. You can find him out at Coons Florida Security Boulevard. I think he's got a cot in the back there somewhere. And we do allow him to escape to various golf courses and fishing holes, as well as from 3 to 5 each and every Thursday, hosting the SSV on WNST. What's going on at Coons Ford, man?
Hey,
shout it out loud for me. Go ahead.
Well, just real quick, one of my friends brought me from Puerto Rico a handmade hammock, which. Because he said, you need to put this in your office because you spend so much time there. I thought that was funny. So
did you put it up or no?
You're very intuitive. I actually ordered some things that'll make me, I can actually set it up.
Well, you could put like a little fake palm tree in the corner, and I could pipe in some Jimmy Buffett for you. And, dude, I mean, seriously, some people meditate, some people pray. I mean, 20 minutes in a hammock listening to Buffett in your office. I don't know. I could put a little sand in the corner there or something. I mean, whatever you want, some steel drums, whatever you're into.
We can make it happen. I'm sure we can paint some scenery too.
I could put a heating lamp in there. You'll think you're in Mykonos.
Get some little chameleons, whatever they are, little lizards running all over the place, little sand. That's a great look, a great visual. I appreciate that. But things are great at Coons Baltimore Ford. We have the all-new 2018 10-speed automatic transmission Mustang coming to our showrooms very soon. Also, the brand-new 2018 Ford F-150. So the product is there. The financing is there. Rates are still very, very low. It's just a great time to come out, take advantage of the savings. Over 1,000 brand-new cars, trucks, SUVs in stock. Lots of pre-owned, pre-loved vehicles as well. We get the best trades anywhere. Late model, low mileage, cream puffs. Just check us out on the web. Pre-loved. Check us out on the web, CoonsFordBaltimore.com. You check out the reviews, and we're 96% satisfaction ratio online, which is something we're very proud of. Keeping our customers happy is our number one priority.
Well, you said something about 10-speed. So 10-speed. When I drove to Dundalk, did you see that I drove to Dundalk, Ireland? So I didn't, you don't rent a car in Paris. You don't rent a car in London. And I got London all figured out. Anybody that's coming over for the game, let them know, Dennis. Saturday, we got a big party. And my party's going to have something really, really special that I've never had at a party before. Okay? So it's going to be really cool. So
nice.
You'll see it. You'll hear about it. Probably about 9 in the morning that Saturday, if you're not, go about 3, 4 in the afternoon. I'm doing, how we did the March in New Orleans, and we've done various things. The March in Nashville, we're kind of famous for that. This is going to be something that's going to take over social media on that Saturday.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's kind of cool. So I had a car in Ireland. They drive on the wrong side of the road, which I've done in Australia very, very successfully and safely because I'm still here. I've driven about 2,000 miles in Australia on the wrong side of the car, on the wrong side of the road, right? So this was the first time when I rented the car, I get the key, and the Irish fellow says, I have a great car for you. You know, it's there in the back, yeah, and we'll teach you. And I got out there, and it was a 6-speed.
Wow.
With the reverse where, like, first would be.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not like where sixth would be. Dude, I was the jack, guy out in the middle of the freeway popping the clutch and stalling, and I got Irish guys hounding the horn and doubling on me. It took me a good, 30 minutes and about 8 stalls at red lights to figure out that reverse is not first.
Oh, wow.
Right? And then there's just a clutch in the foot, and you're on the wrong side of the road. And my wife's exasperated, and I'm, we were cursing in Irish at that point on St. Something Street.
No, was the steering wheel on the left side or the right side of the car?
I was sitting on the right.
Right.
I was on the wrong side of the car,
on the
wrong side of the road,
there you go.
and using my left hand to not my right. You with me?
Yeah.
So everything about it. I mean,
Backwards.
I did okay in Australia with an automatic. Right. But the clutch thing. Really, and I'm a good clutch. I had a clutch car. I would tell anybody the best car I ever had was a Ford Contour SVT that I bought back in the mid-'90s. So it was my favorite car of all time. So, and that was a 5-speed, man. That had 5 on the floor. It was happening. So 10-speed, when you say it, what? Just define that for me, Dennis.
Well, it's just the automatic transmission. The manual transmission will still be a 6-speed with reverse being on your lower right, but it's going to have actually 10 gears, which is unheard of. This thing will be quick off the start and also get great gas mileage and also very, very fun to drive. Aluminum body, the whole 9 yards.
You know what? Once I got the 6 speeds together, when we drove up to Dundalk, you have the roundabouts and stuff, and it's freeway, and you're on the right side of the car, on the wrong side of the road, adjusting with your left hand. It was fun. I had fun once I stopped popping the clutch. You know what I mean? Like, But
when everything is backwards, it does disorient you a bit, for sure.
Driving can be fun. Don't tell anybody that on the Beltway. Dennis, be good. We'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Dennis Colatzos, SSV on WNST, heard here each and every Thursday from 3 until 5. And, of course, Coons Florida Security Boulevard, one of our great sponsors. Appreciate their partnership. Appreciate all of our sponsorships around here. Take care of all of our sponsors. You're buying a car, buy from our sponsors. You're eating a sandwich, buy from our, all of that good stuff. But Dennis has been so great with us, and you can listen on Thursday. He'll get you ready for fake football as well. And, of course, the WNST Tech Service. Breaking news, no spam, no fake news. I got accused of fake news the other day. Nothing pisses me off more. You want to piss me off? Call something fake news. That gets my ire. That gets the block button up. That I don't like that because we don't do fake news. We break real news, and that's why we are sponsored by Coons Florida Security Boulevard. So there you have it. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports